Thank you so much, Nick and Zach, for joining me this evening. How are you two doing?
Good, good.
Doing great, thank you.
Finally warmed up a little bit.
Yeah, it was about 50 today instead of 20 degrees. So,
Ready to go to the beach.
but I mean, the 20 degrees is perfect because you guys are currently rehearsing for White Christmas, and that seems appropriate. So,
That is true. We're going to be neck deep in snow pretty soon here, so we're trying to savor the warmth while we have it.
Zach, how has that rehearsal process been so far?
It's been a lot of fun. A great cast of talented dancers and singers, and we always have a lot of fun with every Grosse Pointe production we do. But this one's been real special.
And Nick, you're kind of leading the charge as the director. How has it been for you? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of pressure you're feeling right now to get this going and rolling. No?
Nah, easy. I sleep like a baby. No, I mean, obviously, there's always a lot of responsibility. I mean, with all community theaters, there's only a few big main stage shows that we do every year, and so much of our livelihood is built on the success of those shows. Not only financially, not only in terms of brand and what the community thinks of us, but what the actors think of us. We want actors to come do shows with us. And so trying to feel all of those things at once and try to deliver a good product that everybody has fun and is commercially successful is part of the challenge. But I love it, and a great cast and a great crew certainly make it easier.
I mean, that's definitely, it has to feel very rewarding to see it all come together. And granted, you're still not quite a month out from the show, but it's probably the pieces are starting to fall into place, and that has to feel really good.
Yes, yeah, for sure. The analogy that I gave to the cast couple weeks ago, it felt like was, it's like making bread. I bake a little bit on the side, not well, but I bake. And, you put all these ingredients together and you think, oh, what have I done? This is never going to be bread. And you have to work it. You have to work it and you knead it and you develop the bread. And then eventually it turns into a dough and you're like, wow, this kind of starts to look like bread. And then you bake it and then it's good. And so my message there was you have to trust the process. You have to keep going. You have to go through the sticky parts. And you'll come out with if you put the right ingredients in, you'll come out with the product in the end. And that's again the crew, the cast, the support from the board and from everyone at Grosse Pointe Theatre. If you have all the ingredients in and you work it and you trust it, you'll get a good product.
I'll piggyback off that. Like we'd be singing all the songs and things are sounding so amazing, and then we go to our dance rehearsal, and then everything's looking real nice, and then you add the two pieces together, and it's like ooh. But
uh,
put in all the work, it's all the ends are starting to meet. It's a lot of fun.
so, Zach, what is it like kind of just stepping into what is quintessentially a Christmas story that everybody probably knows to some degree? White Christmas, I mean, I have a friend who watches it every Thanksgiving with her family. Like, this is a family tradition. What is it like for you to kind of step into that?
Oh, it's very special. Yeah, we're very excited about the Irving Berlin's White Christmas, about the classic movie with Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye. I'm fortunate to play the Danny Kaye character, and I just love, all the amazing dances. It's gonna feel really nostalgic to everyone who loves the movies.
Nick, what is it kind of like for the stage production compared to because most people probably know the film, because
Yeah.
that's what's more readily available.
Yeah, and there's lots of overlap. Obviously, it's the same story, but there's brand new stuff. If you've never seen the stage show before and all you know is the movie, there's new characters, there's new songs, there's new dances, and so it's not a whole new experience, but it's kind of a refreshed experience. It's all the characters that you know and love, but kind of amped up a little bit. We were thinking yesterday about Martha, Martha Watson, who is a big character in the play, and she's kind of a minor character in the movie. She's got a couple songs, and she's got a dance and all kinds of stuff, and so there's all kinds of new stuff. So as Zach said, trying to be true to the story and the feel of the movie, but if people want to watch the movie, they'll just watch the movie. We
Correct.
want to give them a different experience. We want to give them something that is an entirely different and yet familiar experience.
As you were kind of entering into directing the show, did you feel like that was important to highlight those parts that make this stand out from something like the movie?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've spent a lot of time working on the tap numbers. Right? There's a couple tap numbers that are not in the movie. And also but there's also something that you have to do in freeing your actors from the movie. I talked specifically with Bob and Phil about you don't have to be Danny Kaye. You don't have to be, Bing Crosby. Don't try. You're going to fail, right? They're iconic. Be yourself. Be your version of Phil and be your version of Bob. But also, people are expecting a little bit of Bing, a little bit. So it's a fine line whenever and it's so much these days, like so much of musical theater and so much of theater is, um, kind of reimaginings and new things are coming out. And so, Back to the Future was just in Detroit, and if the Marty goes too far away from what Michael J. Fox gave you, you're not interested in that. And so you gotta kind of walk the line so that it's new and fresh, but at the same time familiar and comfortable.
That's what I love about a Nick Marinello production is he's got this, nice vision, but he allows a lot of flexibility for the actors to kind of find their way into something that works for them, that works for the show, that works for the director, works for everybody.
Which, Zach, I'm sure, because like you're stepping into the show, like to the shoes of Phil, like Phil Davis, like you have this like almost preconceived notion of who the character is, but it sounds like you really truly get to make him your own as well.
It's true, yeah, and there's little differences like Nick mentioned with the stage version. He's a ladies' man in the movie, and he's kind of like coming to terms with the death of his bachelorhood in the stage version, which we don't get to see that as much in the original movie. So it's fun.
So, what do you feel like his narrative is kind of is through the show? Like, who is Phil from start to finish, without giving away too much, obviously?
Sure. So
Yeah.
Phil is an ex-soldier, a bad ex-soldier, but he really shines with his song and dance. He's a song and dance man with his partner Bob Wallace, and they come back and are putting on all these wonderful shows. And he's schmoozing it up with all the ladies, and but then he meets a real special girl that he kind of starts falling for, and he's kind of wrestling between his feelings for her and all of his all the fun he has with the girls, and it's fun to explore.
So, what is your kind of process for developing a character such as this? So, obviously, I know you get the script, you read the script, but what is your process for making Phil an entire person?
I definitely spend excessive amounts of time practicing. Um, there's never going to be a harsher critic on myself than myself. So I listen to all the songs. I go through all the music. I drill all the dances 100 times, even outside of rehearsal. I'm tapping in my living room in my socks, and then
You're
we get
constantly
we get all the
going.
lines. Try to get off book as quickly as possible, and then the real magic is when you get the script out of your hands and you're kind of interacting with your castmates, kind of finding the right timing, finding the right chemistry. And it's a long but very exciting process.
It's kind of when the wall gets to drop down, you no longer have that piece of paper to keep you
That's
from
right.
everybody else.
You don't have
It's
your
so it's
crutch
so
to lean.
interesting, yeah, because you feel so much more comfortable with the script, and we all know this, everyone who's been on stage knows this, you feel so comfortable with it, but when you let it go is really when you can start to soar, and so I try to convince actors every time, "Get off book as fast as you can, it's so much better," but even me, I'm the same way, I hold that thing until the very last minute, because it's comfortable, but I realize, you know, you can now start to do things, and the script and the lines get in your way when you're reading them.
I'm a psychologist, so like as a young in master's level, when I was in my program, it always felt like it was so scary to like let go of the book, and to kind of jump into what you're supposed to be doing. And it's the moment I remember my teacher saying, like, if until you do it, you're never gonna do it. So like the idea of like eventually you just have to drop it, and yeah, you're probably not gonna remember all your lines, right away, or there might be moments that you might mess up, but like that's when you finally get to kind of soar with these characters.
Trust the process. You gotta trust the process. You gotta work it.
Speaking of process, Nick, what's kind of your process for bringing the show from your mind's eye to the stage?
So, that's my favorite part of doing this. I've been directing a lot lately. I've done 3 shows in the last 3 years, and I just kind of realized, Zach and I did the play that goes wrong together 2 years ago, and it was in that moment where I realized that that's the beauty of what we do in community theater, from a director's perspective, is that that idea starts as a single germ in my brain. Wouldn't it be great if we did White Christmas? And that's where it starts, and then slowly more people come on and more people get involved, and then they start spinning off their own processes. And so I bring on a crew and they start planning, and my set designer starts his process, and then before you know it, you've got 25 people in the cast, you've got 20 plus people in the production, you've got 50 volunteers who are going to help us through the run of the show. You've got ushers, you've got 200 people who are now doing their own thing, who were not there when I had that initial idea. Wouldn't it be great if we did White Christmas? But it's their vision now, and we're all in this together, and we all are going to succeed together. And then it just becomes this thing that I couldn't do all of it. I don't know all of it. I can't control all of it. So you have to it becomes this organism, this beautiful living thing. And that's, to me, that's the beauty of theater. And kind of the tragic part too, because it's this beautiful thing and then it will end. And then in the ending, we get to appreciate the time that we had together. And that's what keeps me coming back.
So it's like a little bit of life every time.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, Zach, how do you feel like this show really captures the holiday magic? Because I know that's so important for this story. I know we're entering into the holiday season. Nostalgia is really kicking in for people. They want that holiday magic. So, how is this production kind of capturing that?
Oh boy, I don't know if I can give much away, but there's some
Yeah,
exciting
don't
elements.
don't get us in trouble.
Yeah, no
The
trouble.
director's
But there's
sitting
some
right here.
exciting elements that will really add to the White Christmas magic. All the classic songs, White Christmas, obviously, everyone and their family knows that song.
Sure.
And obviously, just like the classic songs like Snow and excited about the Christmas season. It's really nice.
Do you have a favorite song from the show, either that you perform or that you just like to hear?
I kind of have a few favorite songs for different reasons. I am obsessed with the "I Love a Piano" tap number. It's real nice, and everyone gets to strut their dancing chops.
That's awesome.
And then I love the best things happen while you're dancing. I think is vocally a beautiful piece. Of course, Bob and Betty get to sing heartwarming, beautiful duets with crazy harmonies, and it's so nice. So I have to tip my hat to them as well.
Get to
Zach, how
sit
about
back
for
and
you?
enjoy those.
That's
For
right.
me, I love so much about the show. I love the high energy tap. I love, because it's not just a tap show, right? So as Zach said, the best things happen when you're dancing is this beautiful kind of lyrical ballroom, little bit of tango in there, like all kinds of great, a celebration of dance. Which if you love the movie, it really is a celebration of dance. There's those great Vera Ellen dance routines that seem to go on for hours and hours, and you don't want them to end. And so we have that. I will say I do have a favorite. And sorry, Zach, it's none of yours.
I know what it is. I know what it
My
is already.
my favorite numbers is in the second act. It's "Fallen Out of Love," and it is Martha and Judy and Betty, and they are singing about how great it is to fall out of love because you get to fall in love again. And it's so fun, and it's these beautiful Andrews sisters harmonies, and it's a great when so we've Grosse Pointe Theatre has done this show previously, and I was in two of the versions, and every time that song was on, I would come backstage and I would watch our Martha and our Betty and our Judy sing that, and I would enjoy that every time. So I will make sure that I watch that one every single time.
Sounds like that's a really special number for you.
Yeah, I love it.
With there being so many themes in a show such as this, Nick, what themes really stand out to you, or maybe resonate with you where you are in your life right now?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think obviously the nostalgia, the theme of honor, the theme of family, right? Kind of chosen family. So Bob and Phil are not brothers, but they choose each other Betty and Judy are sisters, and so we have family both chosen and natural. Um, but also the theme, the one that really gets me the most about this show is a huge part of this story is the veteran story. And so Bob and Phil are Army veterans, and General Waverly, is in trouble, and so they come to help him. And so it's a story about honoring the service of those who have fought for us, those have fought and died for us. And it's a way of showing what happens after. Right. So the
Sure.
song, What Do You Do with a General When He Stops Being a General? And how General Waverly, who is this uh, you know, icon of a man, and he struggles too. And so there's so much resonance today, right, with so many of our veterans that are, held up as heroes, and yet there are moments where they struggle or where they fall down. And then the question becomes, how do we as a community hold them up? How do we offer them more than just platitudes, to thank them for what they've done? We have a number of veterans who are on our crew, and I'm so appreciative for them. My apprentice director Kyle is a Marine, and our one of our set crew is a Marine, and my lighting designer is an Army vet. And so it's so special to be able to get their perspective and get their thoughts. And Kyle did a little boot camp with the boys to teach them how to salute and how to do all the things. I told him I was going to make them march, but that didn't work out. um and so as a part of that, we are very intentional about honoring veterans. And actually we have made the conscious decision as a part of this production, to provide access to free tickets, for veterans to be able to come and see the show. And so through some very, very generous sponsorships, from a longtime member, and as well as some community members as well. We were able to provide about 20 tickets per performance, for veterans to come in, and bring them and someone else. They can get 2 tickets to come to any of our evening shows. And that's our thank you to them, for what they have done. And that's our way of, our very, very small way of giving back. And so there is a promo code for that. I'll plug that right here. We so the promo code is VET thanks, VET THANKS, and there is a limited number of tickets. And so if when you're seeing this, you go to gpt.org/White Christmas, you choose one of those evening performances, and you put in that promo code. You can get 2 tickets, and we hope that you'll bring everyone. We hope that you'll bring all of your friends, to come and see it with you, and share in this theme of how we honor our veterans, how we honor our family, how we overcome adversity by working together, and creating community.
What a great way to give back to community, and we'll make sure to put that code in our write up as well, so that people can see it.
Great, that would be great.
Zach, sorry you have to follow that answer because that was a great answer. But what themes really stand out to you from this production?
Um, I guess also just going off the theme of community and everyone kind of coming together. It takes a village of volunteers. Like Nick said, like 200 volunteers. Everyone's so passionate about putting on a nice show, bringing some joy to the community, and it's real nice to see it all come from everyone bringing their expertise from their different areas and creating one giant, beautiful, fleeting production.
That's exciting, especially because this is the first one in the new theater, correct? Or am I
It
misspeaking there?
Oh
is.
my
No,
God!
it
Yes.
is. Yeah. So we're so excited. The Scop Center is coming along. It is being worked on every day. It's being finished. It is so beautiful. Finishing touches are being put on it. And so we're ready. We're ready to move in. And we're so appreciative for the Scop Center team, and to Paul and Carol Scop for their vision, and Richard and Jane Manugian for their vision in bringing this performing arts center to Southeast Michigan. One of our members always says, one of our board members always says, who in America is building $50 million arts centers? It so rarely happens. And so Southeast Michigan is so lucky to have access to this beautiful state of the art, facility that is open to the community, that is displaying both performing art and art from the Manugian collection, as well as community art. So there'll be community exhibits. It's really going to be a unique place in Southeast Michigan, and we're so excited to be the principal tenant there, and to call it our new performance space, and to see how this develops within the community.
That's so awesome, and we're the perfect time of the year to really bring it back to the community and for the show, that's exciting. So one more question then before I let you go, and Zach, I'll start with you. It's just, what are you hoping audiences take away from this production of White Christmas?
I guess I would hope that they have a really, really nice time, that they can enjoy the music and the all the dancing, and that they can really see what Grosse Pointe has to offer, especially at the Scott Center. Maybe they can get excited about the rest of the season and come join our family. I think that'd be really nice.
Perfect. Nick, how about for you?
Oh, I hope they have a wonderful time. I mean, it seems simple, but that's all that I can ask. The actors put in 10 weeks of work. I've been working on this for the better part of a year. And all of that effort, I think, boils down to, I just want you to come and have a good time. I want you to come and sit for a few hours, and hear some great music and see some great tap and be transported to a place that is full of love and fun and snow, and you can kind of escape your troubles for a bit, right? At the end of the day, that's what theater is. It kind of gets us out of our daily life. And also, it's a community experience, right? If we wanted to watch White Christmas, we'd pop the DVD in and watch it at home. But coming to theater is a communal experience, and being there with your neighbors and your family. I mean, what a great tradition I think this could be, that we went to brunch on Sunday, and then we went to see White Christmas, and wasn't that great that everyone came? And we've got a couple surprises lined up for the lobby and pre-show. We've got some community choirs who are going to be giving us some caroling. So
Oh,
we're
that's
very
awesome.
excited about creating a really impactful, a moment, right? A moment and an outing and an event. And what Grosse Pointe Theater is really all about, is how do we connect across the whole community, right? How do we bring people together? How do we connect? How do we inspire? And how do we use our skills to help you, have that great artistic experience? And that's what we're always shooting for. And I think we're going to knock this one out of the
Mm.
park.
I'm sure that you will. So thank you both, Nick and Zach, for being here and joining me. It's been a blast talking with you both.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks so
See
much
you
for
at
your
the
time.
show.
I'll be there. Don't worry.
Great,
um,
great.
White Christmas arrives at Grosse Pointe Theatre on December 5th and runs through the 21st. So get your tickets now, and we'll see you at the show.